Originally, I did 2 degrees at Liverpool University in archaeological science, so the scientific training was there, and went into IT through various different job incarnations. The pony that we'd had within the family for, at that time again, can't remember exactly, but around about 28 years, so we loved him dearly. He had laminitis off and on over a 10-year period, and we had the vets out, as most people do. They gave the traditional treatments, but there didn't seem to be any reason. Laminitis is essentially a disruption in blood flow to the horse's feet, and there is a large tendon attached to the main bone within the hoof, and this tends to pull against the bone, and the soft tissue surrounding the bone keeps it in place. The problem when the blood flow changes happen is that the soft tissue dies, and essentially then the tendon pulls against the bone moves within the hoof, or indeed the entire bony column of the horse's leg can move downwards. Once you've actually had laminitis, the horse is generally more susceptible to contracting it again, and in most cases you do tend to have a level of damage that won't go away. In bad cases, the horse could have to be euthanised, and there just didn't seem to be anything that worked. We are, like most horse owners, been there, seen it, done it, bought the t-shirt, tried everything, just in case it might work, and nothing did. We had some ideas over the 10 years that Pip was getting laminitis. With the scientific background that I had, I was doing a lot of research out of my full-time job to try and find, there's got to be something that we can do. And started to get some ideas from human medicine, specifically in the beginning cancer research, and a theory from a chap called Vladimir Dilman, the neuroendocrine theory of aging. But there seemed to be some interesting directions there, which linked into some of the approaches with equine medicine. The big problem was that I guess perhaps there wasn't the funding, perhaps there wasn't motivation, but nobody had actually developed lab tests to look at the substances that we thought perhaps were at the root cause of the problems. I wasn't particularly looking to come out of IT at the time, but we had the opportunity for funding from the Laminitis Trust, and that wasn't quite enough to do the properly scientifically controlled project that you would need to do. We saw that there was a problem, specifically because we actually had the problem. We wanted to do something about that, thought that we had some new ideas, but the only way to actually get the money to fund it was to start a business. So in the beginning, the business was not conceived of as a business, it was conceived of as a way to help one particular horse and hopefully provide information to help others. Well, when we were looking at equipping the lab, we thought of various different systems, and of course there are manual ways to track sample inventory. What we actually needed within the business was a way to not only actually log samples coming in, but also be able to log other features of those samples in a quick, easy, user-friendly way. For our business, we look at the quality of the sample when it comes in, i.e. we check the temperature because that's critical to the substances that we want to measure. We look at the volume we've got because for the assays that we do, we need a certain sample volume to make sure that we get accurate data from those samples. And there's a host of other features within ItemTracker that make logging the actual entries very easy. And with the system that we've got here, it makes it quite simple for the sample to come to the lab, for the sample to be checked, for the sample to be put into storage, and then for various details from the paperwork and the samples themselves to be entered into ItemTracker. For us, because the samples actually come in frozen, we can't stick labels directly onto them at that point. So what we will do is enter the details into ItemTracker then, and after that point, when the samples come out for assay, we then have the barcoded labels already prepared within ItemTracker, and they can then be printed out, put onto the tubes when they go back into the rack spaces within our -80 freezer. Job done. And we wanted from the system something as well that would actually integrate with the other devices that we've got in the lab, and eventually we hope to provide a portal for webs via our website, so that we can actually make not obviously the each and every sample and how much we've got left and the things that are important to us in the lab available to the vets, but to let them know that their results, for example, whether it's possible to do a rerun with a certain sample and those bits of information, and being able to
drag out certain information from ItemTracker to a piece of software middleware to process that data and then present that via a web portal to vets, we felt was something very valuable.